Welcome to episode 36 of From A to Global Z. I'm your host, Dr. Bill Lord. In episode 35, I deviated from our usual format. The episode featured a documentary video that is a behind-the-scenes look of the making of our flagship project, the Frederick Circle of Musical Unity, or FCOMU. This episode is designed to bring you up to speed on the general state of Global Z. The bulk of the video will be dedicated to discussing FCOMU, as I really want to recognize and celebrate the numerous people and components that made this amazing project a resounding success. But before we unpack all those pieces, it's mic talk time. And today we give a listen to a studio condenser mic that has gone through a number of facelifts. It's CAD Audio's Equitek E100Sx. There have been 4 versions of the E100 series, with the first rolling off the factory line more than 30 years ago. CAD produced the E100 in 1992, the E100-2 in 2003, the E100S in 2007, and the most recent iteration, the E100Sx, was introduced in 2022. So, what has changed from version to version? Well, there have been a number of technical changes, visual changes, and also some parts were either being made in the US or China or vice versa. So there's a swapping of where the parts were made or manufactured or designed. And the CAD 100 line, though, is a favorite of voiceover artists, and for good reason. The series is known to deliver a smooth, articulate, and true-to-life sound, underpinned by a vintage tone. Accordingly, the entire 100 series has a lot of fans, but let's focus on the SX. The E100SX is a supercardioid pattern mic that ships with a dedicated shock mount, has a 1-inch nickel-plated capsule, a high-pass filter, and a minus 10 dB switch. Oh, and check this out. On the inside lid of the E100SX box, they pay homage to the first model of the line by including graphics that include the mic schematics, so that's pretty neat. Anyway, CAD states this mic performs well on voiceover work, no surprise there, and excels at recording vocals, acoustic instruments, and percussion. Fun fact here, CAD has been around since the 1930s, and yet they tend to be one of those sleeper companies. While some of their products have not exactly sent audio engineering world into a buying frenzy, they can hit some serious home runs. And honestly, in general, I feel they don't get their due. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter, so give the latest version of the 100 a listen, see what you think. Now on with the show. The Frederick Circle of Musical Unity is an educational, international, intercultural project, a collaboration between student musicians and audio engineers based in Frederick County, Maryland, and student audio engineers and producers at the Abbey Road Institute, or ARI, in London, England. ARI is the educational arm of world-famous Abbey Road Studios and has a number of locations around the world. For FCOMU, we selected an original song written by 2 Frederick students, recorded 11 Frederick student musicians, and 3 Frederick student audio engineers provided on-site support to the students during the project. The Frederick musicians and engineers collaborated with the 3 engineers and producers at ARI in real time, some 3,600 miles away, via broadband connection, and altogether, there were about 50 stakeholders involved in this complex project. This past April, we held an end-of-project red carpet celebratory event at the local Academy for the Fine Arts Auditorium that was open to the public. The event featured food, a project presentation, participant Q&A, the world premiere of the project's documentary video, and the first ever live performance of the song All This Time by the student musicians. It was an amazing success, great fun. The documentary video was primarily managed by Hood College broadcasting students with supplemental footage provided by Global Z and the Abbey Road Institute. The project and documentary are remarkable, ambitious, and rewarding undertakings, and I encourage you to check out the video. Moving on, I have some additional news to share. Global Z has been around since 2014, and since day one, we've been designed to operate remotely. Well, over the years, things have kind of changed. Our projects have taken on a more blended model where we work not only with student artists using remote communication, collaboration, and recording technologies, but we find ourselves increasingly pairing up with local face-to-face students as well. And we also have ended up acquiring some nice audio production gear. And as such, the time has come for us to find an official home office. This past spring, the Global Z recording project transitioned into a studio space managed by the Frederick Arts Council in the historic section of downtown Frederick, Maryland. The building is a large, classic structure that was built in the 1800s and originally served as a bank. A couple years ago, the bulk of the building was converted into artist studios. Downtown Frederick has a vibrant arts community as well as an active philanthropic community. We're truly thrilled to be calling historic Frederick our new home. All right, let's switch gears one more time. This summer, we're working to launch a new project called Suitcase SoundTech. And the project is specifically designed to provide marginalized, at-risk, and impoverished youth in our community a hands-on opportunity to learn about the fundamentals of audio engineering. The 2-day workshop allows students to work with commercial-grade audio equipment at the Frederick Y Art Center's recording studio. Instruction will be led by our Director of Audio Production and Educator, Dr. Jonathan Cresci. We will also encourage young women to consider studying and pursuing audio engineering, a heavily male-dominated field, as a possible career path. Stay tuned to our web and social media sites as more develops on this exciting project. So that brings us up to speed with what is happening at the Global Z Recording Project. We have a few more concepts on the burner, so I hope you return to check out our next episode of From A to Global Z to see what we are up to. It's some pretty neat stuff coming up. Until then, stay happy, healthy, and be good to each other. Wishing you peace through music, I'm Bill Lord.